Okay, it looks like we are live, and I am Randy Rhodes, your host for today. For a quick shout out to what's going to happen tonight. Let's make sure I'm live, and we'll go from there. To what's going to happen tonight. We are live. Let's make sure I'm live. Okay, let me get this shared out. Bum, 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 bum. Get this shared out. If I get this darn, there we go. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get to my one screen, and there's just too many notifications to make the switch. So give me 1 second here, folks. There we go. There we go. Okay. And I'll have to wait for that to go away, but I'll get started. Okay. My name is Randy Rhodes of All Roads Lead 'em Genealogy and Colonel Randall Rhodes of the Carolina Grey Ghosts. And we're going to start this show off with a blast. Sort of, kind of. It's just a song that I created to promote Matthew Holmes, author and historian. And here we go.
Is a proud southerner author who honors his Confederate ancestors. Just like his ancestors, he continues to be a fire eater, or in other words, a very devoted Southern nationalist and hell-bent on Southern secession of the illegally occupied Confederate States of America, illegally held hostage by the United States of America. We live in a time corrupt politicians blatantly ignore the Constitution and do everything to dismantle our beloved Southern culture. They continue to destroy our monuments to our gallant Confederate heroes. They continue to keep our people in poverty and do everything to do away. Confederate heroes, they continue to keep divorcing the United States of America. We call secession by becoming a separate nation. Matthew Holmes is a proud Southerner, a proud Southern author who honors his Confederate ancestors.
Yeehaw! Let's start that over again because I had a little boo-boo there. So I want to start this over again. So forgive me. Playing it again. Here we go.
Matthew Holmes is a proud Southerner, a proud Southerner author who honors his Confederate ancestors. Just like his ancestors, he continues to be a fire eater, or in other words, a very devoted Southern nationalist and hell-bent on Southern secession of the illegally occupied Confederate States of America, illegally held hostage by the United States of America. We live in a time corrupt politicians blatantly ignore the Constitution and do everything to dismantle our beloved Southern culture. They continue to destroy our monuments to our gallant Confederate heroes. They continue to keep our people in poverty and do everything to do away with our Southern accent. This, my friends, is what is called Southern cultural genocide, and it must be stopped by divorcing the United States of America. We call secession by becoming a separate nation. Matthew Holmes is a proud Southerner, a proud Southern author who honors his Confederate ancestors.
Indeedy. He does indeed love his heritage. He loves his South. He loves the way he talks. He is what you want in a Southern patriot. Here's one more song, and then we get started.
Matthew Holmes is a proud Southerner, a proud Southerner author who honors his Confederate ancestors. Just like his ancestors, he continues to be a fire eater, or in other words, a very devoted Southern nationalist and hell-bent on Southern secession of the illegally occupied Confederate States of America. Illegally held hostage by the United States of America. We live in a time corrupt politicians blatantly ignore the Constitution and do everything to dismantle our beloved Southern culture. They continue to destroy our monuments to our gallant Confederate heroes. They continue to keep our people in poverty and do everything to do away with our Southern accent. This, my friends, is what is called Southern cultural genocide, and it must be stopped by divorcing the United States of America in what we call secession by becoming a separate nation. Matthew Holmes is a proud Southerner, a proud Southern author who honors his Confederate ancestors.
I have to admit, of the two songs that I created here, using the words from the back of Matthew's book, I like this one better. I'm not sure why, but I like the rhythm, I like the beat, I like the accent of the singer. the singer's a computer, but you know what I mean. So look, folks. Before I get started on my main reason for being here, I received a shout out from, I believe it was, let me get the name right here, Stephen Norton. He reached out to me after viewing one of my broadcasts concerning the broadcast tonight for Matthew's book. And he, my initial thought was that he was looking to have someone do his genealogy for his son, but as it turns out, it was his son who was considering perhaps becoming a genealogist like myself. So I did explain to him me, what I do, how I do it, and so forth, and what I charge. And he was very interested. So he's going to talk to his son, and then his son may or may not contact me. But one of the biggest things that I make sure I have are my tools. And what do I mean by my tools? Okay, let me show you here. Here is one tool. Okay. This is a 32-inch curved monitor, and that's a second 32-inch curved monitor. I have a keyboard that lights up for being able to see at night when I'm working. I have one iPad. I have two iPad. I have three iPad over the charging up, plus my cell phone. These are my tools for reaching out to the world when I'm doing searches. Because what might happen is I'll be doing someone's tree. I'll give you an example here. I use Ancestry.com as my go-to product for doing people's genealogy, and uh, plus like 12 others, uh, and more, because sometimes I just can't get all the information that I want for um, searching, so I have to have the other tools, the other uh, sites, the other whatevers that I need to make that happen. So, for an example, this is my own personal tree. Okay. Um, so, this is my own personal tree. Uh, and it's much bigger than this. He asked me how big my tree was. He wanted to, I guess, do a comparison to what he thought his son had a huge tree. Okay. Um, I told him that I have my own personal tree, 75,317 people, and I have 122,000 plus photos and so forth. He was blown away with that size. He thought his son at like 3,000 people was big. And it's not just the size of the tree that makes any sense. It's to make sure that you have the right people. And one of the nice things I like about Ancestry.com is that, first off, if you pay an extra $10 a month, you can fact check yourself to make sure that your information is correct. Okay. And it checks for if you do a duplication. It checks for the lineage, make sure that you are accurate. So if you click on the person's name, it should give you a lineage down to you. If it doesn't, that means your branch is wrong, and that person may or may not be related to you. So he was very impressed with that. I told him how long I've been doing this, which is like 10 years at least now. The other thing is, besides the obvious online uh, services that I have access to, it's also all the books that I use for uh, content. So if and I'm in the process now of chronologically putting these books onto a spreadsheet, so that I can go to a particular magazine or book for content concerning a battle, a war, a military person, or something like that to help me with my tools. Um, I have many years ago when Ancestry had their own magazine. Okay, they had their own magazine, believe it or not. Um, this is Ancestry's magazine back in the day. And it just has a lot of cool tools in it. They've since stopped printing these, but I managed to find someone who had every one of them. And I bought them at a really good price, and they're all in very good condition. Um, I mean, I have hundreds of magazines here, not just for the fact of having them, seeing I have them. It's because at some point, and now that I'm off of Dave Globin's show, I have a few extra hours every day to start wheedling away at these little projects that I wanted to do, which one was just to chronologically list these magazines so I can go to a file and say, oh, That's the magazine I need for this, this, and this. So that's what the whole process is. But this is not why I'm here today. Okay, I'm here today to talk about this evening, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, here on this station, Randall Roads, or All Roads Leading Home Genealogy, or one of the many groups I'm a member of or admin of. I'll be broadcast now to them. So they're going to, um, uh, hopefully, you'll be watching it there. I'll watch it primarily on my Randall Roads page or on my All Roads Lead Home Genealogy page. That way, if you type in a comment or a question, I can see it and I can respond to it. But so far, he sent me 3 books. I got more on the way. He has 8 books that he's printed, that he wrote and is in print. The first one I did a broadcast on was Hell in the Cell. Again, a fantastic, fantastic book. There's just no ways around that. The one I'm reading now, and the one that is for tonight's broadcast, is Blood in the Mountains. Okay. It's about his I know it's a close relative. Um, it is about the life of Nathan Holmes, uh, direct blood lineage to Matthew Holmes. This book is about him. Very well written, a lot of good content. It brings you into the battle like you're right there next to him, shooting guns with him. Um, Depending on when the other books show up, because he would like me to do uh, Chemtrails over Dixie next, but if it doesn't show up, um, well, I finished this book, so I'm going to start reading this book now. So the next book I'll be doing a broadcast on is Spirit of Vengeance. And it's about a gentleman, a blind man, Christian Miller III, which is Matthew's 4th-grade uncle. Okay, he was murdered in cold blood by a Union soldier. And because of that murder, it made relatives and friends join up in the Confederate Army to wreak revenge against the Union soldiers for what they did. And rightfully so, I think. My personal opinion for what it's worth. Okay. So that'll be my next book to start reading because of the other books have not yet arrived. Jen, the homeschool mom Woodruff, she was supposed to be on tonight, but a horrific incident occurred in her backyard. A family was enjoying Labor Day weekend. They're out tubing on the river that runs behind Jen's house, and without going into great detail, the woman fell out of the tube, got caught up against a rock and something else, could not free herself, and the rescuers couldn't get to her in time, and she drowned. Okay. But what happened is that the daughter, as I understand it, the daughter of the woman who drowned went to Jen's house, banging on the door for help, saying that her mom was drowning. Please help us. So if I understand correct as well, her son and I think her husband ran out to help with the rescue. Unfortunately, the rescue turned into a retrieval of a dead body. This can get to her in time. The river was running too fast, and circumstances, took the life. And what it sounds like to me right now is that Jen is suffering from PTSD of the event because she said, "Randy, I can't be on the show tonight. I'm very sick and I'm very nauseous and other ailments, and that she can't sleep. This thing keeps going on in her mind about what happened and how this girl is yelling, screaming for help. So she won't be on tonight's show as it is currently planned. Okay, so it'll just be Matthew and myself, and I'll be asking all the pertinent questions about why the book, why now, and so forth. All the questions you would ask of a person. And I just saw that there's a comment here. Hey, Randy, y'all remember me? I'm Matt's friend. Okay, yeah. Hey, how you doing? Azus. Yes, so tonight, Azus, at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Matthew Holmes will be with me to discuss the second book that I've read of his, which is Blood in the Mountains. Aziz, I'm not sure if you bought any of his books, but you need to start buying his books. These are phenomenal books. Now, people, one of the things that I will be bringing up tonight, he asked me to do a review, okay? And I asked him before he even got the books, I said, do you want me to hold back any criticism, or do you want me to read the book and give you my full criticism as well as compliments and so forth? And he said, Randy, I want it all. Okay. So one of the things you'll find is that the way the book is printed from Amazon, Amazon didn't properly format the pages. Okay. Um, so let me give you an example if I can here real quick. Okay, I'll show you here. Okay. So like here, you see how, I can't find it down here. Oh, where's that? Okay, here it is. It's on the, see here where my finger is? It says chapter 13. Okay. That chapter 13 title should be on this page at the top. Okay. So chapter 13 over here, that should be up here. Okay. All the artwork, the pictures, and so forth are things that he took from archives. They're all in black and white, obviously to save on costs and so forth of the production of the book. As far as grammar and spelling, things like that, I found no real problems. Okay, because he wrote the book the way they spoke. Azuz says Matt is real smart and nice guy. He's a great friend of Azuz, and he even offered to me to buy one of his books as a gift. Well, that's great. That is he. Matthew is a phenomenal guy. He actually reached out to me when he saw one of my broadcasts that I was doing about slavery. I had a client whose name is Morris Myers, who is the second generation grandson of a slave. And he also has a third great great grandmother who was a slave. So I did a broadcast with Morris Myers of slavery. I actually had back in the day, they did interviews of the freed slaves. So I actually found one of those interviews of his second great grandfather talking to a person about his experience as a slave. So Matthew saw me doing that broadcast, and he reached out to me and asked me would I be willing to do a review of his books and to have a broadcast like now and to promote his book. And to be honest with you, I was absolutely blown away. I was very honored to be asked to do that. Azuz says the Confederacy banned the import of slavery in their constitution. They seceded because of taxation and dictation since Lincoln was a dictator. Exactly. The war between the North and the South, or the war for independence, not the Civil War, okay, was a war not because of slavery, at least as far as the people of the South were concerned. The war was for their independence, okay? And just so you folks know, I have been also selected by Mindy Hergert one of the board members of the Southern Independence Association, which is the political arm of the South. And she has recruited me to shortly begin sending emails out to all these senators and congressmen to convince them that constitutionally, legally, the southern states have the right to stay with the North or to leave the North. So they're trying to get these people on board with a peaceful solution to the secession. And I'm very proud to be part of this movement of the South. So with that, folks, Zeus, unless you have anything else you want to say, I'm going to cut out. I'm going to get prepared for tonight. I have some work yet to do. Correct. It was legal secession. The North made it all about slavery, and it really truly wasn't, because the North was making as much money off the slaves as the people in the South who owned them. Because the people in the South who owned the slaves made money off, crops and whatever they're doing with the slaves, having the hard labor force. They're making money, and then going into the northern states, and they were spending that money. So the northern states was making a shitload of money off of the money that was being earned by the slaves. So by ending slavery, it would have cut into the money part going to the North. Well, why would they do that? Okay. It was a thing to get Lincoln elected and reelected, and that's what happened. Zeus says the South was already getting rid of slavery, moving towards industrialization. Correct. But you won't see that in the textbook in today. These flags back here, okay, especially this one here, my grandsons won't talk to me because of that. I asked him why, and he said, Grandpa, that flag represents slavery. And I said, where in the hell did you hear that? He said, that's what they teach in school. I said, well, they're wrong. And I sent them all these videos to show the real reason for that flag, which is not slavery. He wouldn't look at them. He didn't believe me. So tonight, 7:00 p.m., want you to be here, please, to see the show about Matthew's ancestors, the book Blood in the Mountains. Also, the one book, Chemtrails Over Dixie, as I understand it, there's supposed to be something there about sex slavery. If that is the case, Matthew has requested that I invite Suzanne Arcado, who was a victim of sex slavery, to be part of that broadcast to discuss the book. And I asked her, she said she definitely will be on board. So I have to wait until I get that book to see what the content of it is and how it reads to bring her on. I actually took just like with Matthew, I took his words and her words to create this song, okay, about her experience. So here you go, folks. As I forget the share button here. This is Suno.com, another software that I highly recommend. And these words come from Suzanne herself, okay?
My name is Suzanne. I have a story to tell. I was torn from my baby boy, my child, and thrown into modern day slavery. My sexual human traffickers never wanted me to live long enough to tell
Yes, it is indeed. Yes, it is indeed. So very important that we be aware of that. And hopefully, with Trump in the office, we will start getting that. And with what's coming out with the Epstein files right now, as this hope that it continues that way. So, folks, um, I'm not sure if Matt sees your messages. If you're a friend of his, you just message him, and he'll be able to see them that way. So on Facebook, he's under Matt Holmes. Just go in there and send him a message. You have to be a friend of his. So if you're a friend of his, that would work for you. Uh, if nothing else, what I'll do is I'll reach out to Matt myself and tell him that you are looking for him, and uh, have him reach out to you. Okay. So with that, my friends, 7 o'clock p.m. tonight Eastern time, I'll be here with Matthew Holmes to discuss his book, Blood in the Mountains. And with that, I'm bringing this broadcast to an end. Thank you, Jesus, for being here to see this afternoon. Thank you for all the comments, and